Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So I switched it up for you guys. I'm not doing my makeup today. I am doing my good sis Mayana's makeup for her gender reveal. So this makeup look is inspired by Chelsea. She is a fellow MUA on Instagram, so I will leave her information in the description box below so you guys can see the reference photo. So yes, let's get started. I am using the Cloud Complexion Primer from XX Revolution to go over her face to protect her pretty skin. So to contour her face, I am taking the LA Girls Pro Concealer in Toast, and I am sculpting her face first. I saw this technique on Instagram and I was like, let me try it out to see if it will really like save me some product and cut the time on, how I do the base part, because the base for me when I'm doing clients takes a long time. I want to make sure that everything is like seamless, like there's no line of demarcation, no flashback, no clockability. For foundation, I am taking the Fenty. I cannot remember the name of it, but I will have it listed down below for you guys. So if you are her color match, then you can use that as a reference for you guys. So I'm just putting that foundation over the spots where I didn't place that contour shade. Then I'm going back with that same contour shade to make sure that those two colors are blended in together and that nothing was lost in transition. And then I take my damp beauty sponge to press in those two products into the skin to make sure that they are smooth and set and ready to go for the next step. To highlight the center of her face, I am taking the LA Girl Pro Concealer in medium beige, and I'm using a brush to place it on first, and then I go back over with my sponge to make sure that it's really blended out and that there are no streak marks. And when I'm doing the base, I like to go back and forth between the brush that I use for the foundation and my sponge, just so everything won't look too crazy, like the highlighter parts aren't super bright and that the contour parts aren't super dark. I want everything to be like an ombre, so once I set it with the powders, it won't look crazy. For brows, I took the Morphe Brow Cream in Java to fill in her brows. I had to be very careful with this product because I am very heavy-handed when it comes to eyebrow products, especially pomades, because I like a dark brow personally, but the look that we are going for today does not call for a super dark brow. It's giving natural filled in teas, and that's it. And to set her highlighted areas, I took the True Blend Minerals powder from CoverGirl in the shade Banana to set her face. And to bring back some warmthness to her face, I took the Black Radiance True Complexion. This is in the medium to deep palette, and I just took the Sculpt shade, which is the middle one. It's not dark, well, too dark for her. It gave her the right amount of depthness that I needed, and I used that same shade to sculpt her nose as well. To prime her eyes, I took the same LA Girl concealer in medium beige, and I took a damp sponge once again to make sure that the contour, or excuse me, that the primer is set on her eyes and that they are no streak marks. The two palettes that I used were the Color Book in 02 from Revolution, and then the Extravaganza palette from XX Revolution. So to use as a transition color, I went into my 02 palette and I used one of the lighter shades that are in there, and I used that as a transition. And then I took a deeper shade, which was still pretty light, and I just used that to build up that transition shade. And then I took one of the browns in the Extravaganza palette, which was like a medium dark brown, to use as a crease color. And I took advantage of her eye space. I love her eye space. Like, there's so much that you can do with it. So I had to make sure that each part, square foot of her eye, is being used. So I'm just building up those colors and making sure that they are blended into each other. And then I went into the 02 palette once again, and I took the darkest shade in the palette to further deepen up the crease. Then I took a clean fluffy brush to give it an airbrush look to make sure that everything is once again blended together. So then I decided to cut her crease, and yes, I'm using that same concealer from LA Girl in medium beige, and I wanted to give her an oval shaped look. And I just have to tell y'all, like, I love doing cut creases, but then again, I hate doing it because one, I'm holding my breath while I'm putting it down because I don't want it to be crazy or too wide, or I don't want to mess up. Like, I want both of the eyes to be identical. So I took my sponge again to make sure that that concealer is pressed onto the eye and isn't super wet so the colors will stay. So I'm taking the same colors that I used on the outer part of the eye to blend inwards. And then to really deepen up that V part of the eye, I took a black from the Extravaganza palette and I made sure that I used a very, very light hand because y'all know, and if you don't know, black will ruin a look quickly and it's very hard to recover from. So I'm just making sure that I am placing that color down perfectly and blending it out with the other shades, the lighter shades, excuse me, that I used. And then I went in with a brown shade for the lid, but it was a little bit too dark for me. So I took a lighter brown, and this is from the Extravaganza palette. And I just packed that onto the lid. And then I eventually went back to that same brown to use as a middle transition shade towards the black. Now, let's move on to one of the best parts of this look. I am taking the retro liner from Glam Vice, and this is in the shade Sugary Apple. It's a metallic red shade, and it is water activated. And this is my first time using a water activated liner. So it was a learning lesson. I really had to take my time because it doesn't go on like a regular liner. It's very wet, or maybe it's because I wasn't using it right, but I really had to take my time with this. But it turned out so, so, so pretty. So I did have to go back into that concealer to clean up the wing parts. I did go back with some foundation, excuse me, not foundation, I cannot speak today, but the eyeshadow to clean up or cover that area that I cleaned up with the eyeliner. And here are some of the lashes that I picked out for her that she could use for this look or for another look. We ended up going with the Luxe by I Envy and the Demi Fit style, and I love that lash. Like, I have to go and pick me up a pair because they are so bomb, lightweight, easy to work with, and so feathery. I love them. For blush, I took the XX Revolution Excess blush in Cliche and Cynic. I mixed those two together to get this pretty warm look. So then I went in with a brown lip liner from NYX to outline her lips. And since this is a holiday look, I took the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink Lipstick in Groundbreaker, and this complemented her skin so well. It was very easy to work with. I did have to go back and clean up the edges of her mouth area because I want it to be as sharp as possible. We can't have squiggly lines on the lips. We don't do that over here. And for highlighter, I took the highlighter Reloaded from Revolution in Dare to Divulge. And here we have our finished look. Make sure that you guys give this video a big thumbs up. Congratulations to my sis once again on her pregnancy. I can't wait to meet the little jelly bean. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and you subscribe. And I hope I get to see you guys in the next one. Bye.